Alright, Shalom. I want to begin by giving all glory and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Kwadash. Alright, double honor to our beloved elders and apostles, a great millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect, and shalom to all the Akim pushing this truth with sincerity. It's the brother Itazawan from the GMS Columbus, Ohio branch, coming back again with another video through the Spirit. Lord willing, it is edifying. And pretty much through the Spirit, just wanted to land back off the video I did yesterday, going into ultimately understanding the throne of David, okay, and what it entails, okay, and how Yahweh Shai ultimately, okay, has received the throne himself, okay, and is coming in the same stead that David came in when he began to conquer the known heathen, or the heathen round about Jerusalem at that time. All right, from the Hamitic nations or heathenist nations to Edom, all right, Moab, Ammon, so on and so forth. Okay, but through the Spirit, I was just compelled to deal with Isaiah the 60th chapter and Isaiah the 61st chapter. Okay, which two are prophetic chapters concerning the kingdom of heaven. One dealing with the gospel, which is the good news concerning the meek. All right. And again, this all stems from, the foolery, all right, and the heresies being spewed from the Genesis Christians, all right. Like I said, I don't know Israelites, now, but, again, just dealing with the controversy, all right. And again, like I said before, a lot of, when you're dealing with these guys, and this is how the Spirit's not dealing with them. When they, change the name, change the doctrine, so on and so forth, what they tend to do is their whole ministry is based on debunking or, attempting to debunk, all right, the old doctrine or the old ways or paths that they once followed. All right, they forget about prophecy. All right, they forget about edification. Their sole mission is to, again, debunk, ultimately GMS and what we teach and preach. Okay, that's their whole mission. You see, they're not well-rounded anymore. They're, strictly in one lane. Okay, and again, it's to, focus on what has changed or what they're trying to change. All right, the scriptures deal, not only with doctrine, so on and so forth, but, customs, ways, scriptures speak about the fruits of the Spirit. All right, there's a lot of things pertaining to the scriptures than, just, in their case, the, Gentile salvation, which, like I said, again, that's their sole mission, is to prove that the Gentiles can be granted salvation, which is complete madness and is completely off. Okay, and Lord willing, we can deal with, the concept of salvation in another video, Lord willing, maybe after this. Okay, but ultimately, again, I just wanted to tap into the kingdom side of things. And, again, who is the kingdom for, et cetera, because, again, these guys teach salvation for the heathen, all right, and that, ultimately they can be joint heirs with us in the kingdom, which, like I said, again, is completely off. All right, so Lord willing, let's read Isaiah the 60th chapter, and let's go A and P. Let's just flow with the A and P, see what it says through the Spirit. All right, so Isaiah 60 at the top, it reads, "Arise from spiritual depression to a new life. Shine, be radiant with the glory. Shine, be radiant with the glory and the brilliance of the Lord. For your light has come." Let's go airplane mode just so we don't get cut off. "And the glory and brilliance of the Lord, or of Yahweh, has risen upon you." Right, and who is this concerning the Israelites? "For in fact, darkness will cover the earth, and deep darkness will cover the peoples. But Yahweh will rise upon you, Jerusalem." Again, the subject matter is concerning Jerusalem. All right, the nation of Israel. "And his glory and brilliance will be seen on you. Nations will come to your light, and kings to the brightness of your rising." You see, Nations will come to your light, and kings to the brightness of your rising. You see, so there's ultimately a separation, okay, being mentioned here. All right. Lift up your eyes around you and see, they all gather together. They come to you. Your sons will come from afar away, and your daughters will be looked after at their side. Then you will see and be radiant, and your heart will tremble with joy and rejoice, because the abundant wealth of the seas will be brought to you. The wealth of the nations will come to you, right? And as it reads in verses 5, it says, then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee. See, the forces of the Gentiles. Let's look up the word forces real quick once we get connected. All right. The forces. Strength, might, efficiency, wealth. So the wealth of the Gentiles in this case, these Gentiles are speaking of who? The natural Gentiles, the heathen nations. All right, roundabout. So their wealth is going to come to us. All right, and again, this is prophetically speaking of the kingdom of heaven, because after this point, this hasn't happened. All right, in its fullness. You see? All right, this is, ultimately dealing with after the reign of Solomon. When, Solomon, real quick, had the other nations playing tribute. Let's read that real quick. And First King, or is it in Chronicles? I think it's in Chronicles. When you read in Chronicles, 2 Chronicles 8, and let's start at 7. As for all the people that were left of the Hittites and the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Hivites, right? Those heathen nations who were left, right, amidst the nation. And the Hivites and the Jebusites, which were not of Israel, but of their children, who were left after them in the land, whom the children of Israel consumed not. Them did Solomon make to pay tribute until this day. But of the children of Israel did Solomon make no servants for his work, but they were men of war, and the chief of his captains, and captains of his chariots and horsemen. Right. So, just dealing with it, this is, like I was reading Isaiah the 60th chapter, this is well after the reign of Solomon, okay, where, he had the heathens bring them wealth, bring him their wealth. All right, like I said, it made him to pay tribute. Let's look up the word tribute. See if we get anything real quick. Tribute is a stated sum of money or other valuable consideration paid by one ruler or country to another in acknowledgement of submission, or as the price of peace or protection. Just make sure we on. Right, so again, at that time, he made the heathen pay tribute unto him. Okay, and those who were Israelites had lofty and high positions amidst his kingdom. All right, amidst his rulership. You see, so again, dealing with Isaiah. All right, this is concerning after Solomon's reign. So when will this happen? This will happen in the kingdom of heaven. All right, so again, what is that? Chayal. All right. Strength, might, efficiency, wealth, army, strength, ability, efficiency, wealth, force, army, man of valor, hosts, forces, valiant, strength, riches, wealth, power, substance. All right. So we're going to receive the substance of the other nations, of the heathen nations, man. Okay. Continuing on. Verses 6, it says, a multitude of camels from the eastern trading tribes will cover you. Jerusalem, the young camels of Midian and Ephah, all those from Sheba who once came to trade will come bringing gold and frankincense and proclaiming the praises of Yahweh. Right, because at that time, what? We're going to teach the other nations the ways of Yahweh Yahweh Shai, as it is written in Isaiah the 2nd chapter. All right. And again, like I said, they're going to bring us gifts. Okay, what greater people is this that the Most High is so nigh unto? You see, they're going to praise us. They're going to praise our God. Real quick, let's go to, is it Malachi or is it Micah 4? Which it pretty much reiterates the same thing spoken Isaiah the 2nd chapter. Let's just read it. Micah 4 at the top, it says, "But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Yahweh shall be established." Right, what is that mountain? The governing body of Yahweh shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and the people shall flow unto it. You see? So people are going to flow unto Jerusalem. Okay? Once we receive that power, that glory, that splendor, people are going to be drawn to us, man. We're going to be the new celebrities, beginning with the 144,000 on down. Okay? Verse 2, it says, "And many nations shall come and say, Come and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, and to the house of the God of Jacob." Right? And we're going to be that house. We're going to be the new temple, that spiritual temple, that third temple that's going to be built. Okay? And he will teach us of his ways, right? We're going to teach and get the heathens in order. And we will walk in his paths, for the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem, right? Because ultimately the Lord's will is that every knee is going to bow to him. Okay? And we're going to be the forefront, all right? Or, play out his righteousness. Like the scriptures speak about, we're going to be an image of his own eternity. He chose the nation of Israel out of all the other nations to be that. Okay? And as we are that, we're going to declare his ways, statutes, and commandments, all right, in the planet Earth, man, that he may be glorified and magnified, all right, as the omnipotent, the omnipresence, all right, of existence, man. Okay? Verses 3, it says, "And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks." See? So at this time, there's going to be no more war. Why? And then that's how you know we're going to receive spiritual powers as well. Because what weapon will, be able to combat, all right, a spiritual force or entity, or forces or entities in a planet Earth that are immortal and indestructible? Nothing. Not no AK, not no missile, not no nuke, not no fucking ray gun, no cosmic gun, that plasma gun, Esau. No, none of that. Okay? "Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore." Right? And again, this is a great scripture, all right, prophetically speaking of the nation of Israel, okay, that will prove that the Jews in the land today, the Jewish people, are not the true Jews, man. They do not fit this scripture at all. Verses 4, "But they shall sit every man under his vine, under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid concerning the nation of Israel, for the mouth of Yahweh of hosts have spoken it. For all people will walk everyone in the name of his God." Right? You see, real quick, for all people will walk for all people will walk everyone in the name of his God. Right? You see, it's a lowercase g. What's the lowercase g is what? The Elohim. Okay, so the all people is concerning the heathen nations will walk everyone in the name of his God, right? So whoever, out of the Elohim, like the scriptures speak about, we shall receive cities. All right, we're going to be the governing body of the planet Earth. Wherever your region is at, etc., those heathen, etc., that you rule and govern over on the planet Earth will walk in your footsteps. And by default, you're going to walk in the ways of Yahweh Bahashim and Yahweh Shai. That's the order. Okay? Like it's going to continue to read. "And we will walk in the name of Yahweh our God forever and ever." You see? Plain and simple, man. All right? So let me see. I'm at 15 minutes. All right, Lord's will, I may cut it there through the Spirit and may just pick it up on the next one where we at? I said 60-6. All right, Lord willing. All right, gotta get the day rolling, man. Had a late day, so I want to get some rest, etc. But ultimately, again, this, like I said, gonna be more parts of this, but this is what the kingdom of heaven entails, man, and this is the role that the heathens will play. All right, once the kingdom of heaven is in full effect. All right, so Lord willing, that was edifying to whoever may received it, giving all glory and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rechakodash. Shalom.